to how I got inspired. So, see, hearing all those things about a family member being in the military and me playing with little soldiers, toy soldiers. So that inspired me to always wanted to be a soldier. But the one thing that really inspired me to become a soldier was when I was already in the U.S. I remember I was in high school, 11th grade, on a chemistry class when the 9/11 happened, and that was the trigger for me to decide that I really wanted, after high school, I really wanted to join the military.
I have actually a question about that because me when 9/11 happened, I have no recollection of it because I was 7.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was a big deal for my parents in the Middle East, but for me, like it wasn't in my scope of memories. But I wanted to ask: when 9/11 happened, were the people like right away ready to sign up for the military, like Americans, or was it like the whole thing was happening and then suddenly like the American government was like, "Hey, we need more troops on the ground. We need you guys to sign up." Like, was it a reflex or like a redirection?
Okay, so I think it was a redirection because I didn't see, especially in my being in high school, I didn't hear other people wanting to join the military. It was just me talking to myself in my inside and saying, uh, there are bad people out there trying to mess up the way of life that we have in the U.S. And I think I have now the opportunity to make a difference and go and defend this country that received me and adopted me as a new citizen.
Right. And how was the sign up process like? Like, because I don't know if these guys work on commissions and things like this, but I know in Canada we see recruiters always at like the university fair, the school fair. I know they've got an office downtown from us where you can just walk in the door, say, "Hey, sign me up, coach," or something like that. How is it more in the States? Did you have to go to the office yourself? Did you have to make a call?
I had to go and look for a recruiter. I remember doing that, but see, it wasn't because you would think like we just had a an attack in the U.S. soil, and then you would think that they would be desperate to get people in. But I think the military already had um, the numbers to go out there and fight. Because I remember that I went to the recruiting station, and they had me take a test at the ASBA. I had to take the ASBA first, and then had to look at the results. And at first, I wasn't going to join the army. At first, I was going for the Air Force. And I remember I had a good score on my test, but I was disappointed because even like you mentioned, was it were they desperate to get people in or something like that? And no, because the Air Force told me you have to wait a year and a half to get in.
Jeez.
And I'm like, see, I don't know. I want to go now. So I was kind of, I'm like bombed. But walking down the street, I saw there was another office, U.S. Army recruiting, and I saw helicopters and planes. I'm like, okay, so does the Army do planes as well? Okay, and I went to check it out. I'm sorry, and the guy told me, the recruiter told me, you have to take a test. I'm like, I already took it with the Air Force. Oh, let's look at the results. He's like, yeah, I mean, you can just get whatever job you want. I'm like, okay, so I want this and that. He's like, okay, that's gonna take time. I'm like, what do you have for like tomorrow? I was the one desperate. So he's like, okay, I had this job. It has to do with petroleum. I'm like, give it to me. I need to go in.
Did you want to join the Air Force because your relative was already in there?
And that was back in my relative was back in Honduras in
Yeah.
Central America, and this is in the U.S. So
But like, was that your inspiration for the Air Force specifically?
yes, the Air Force. I wanted to go as a pilot.
Yeah. I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, apparently, like the worst thing you could do is join the U.S. Navy or something. And I
Right.
always see the other ones rag on the U.S. Navy. I always see like the U.S. Land Force, the Air Force. I'm always seeing these Navy jokes, and I'm like, what's with the Navy?
And nobody likes the Navy guys. So yeah. And
Like, is
now
there
we
a specific reason? Like, just a lot of single men in tight confinements in a submarine,
right,
10,000 feet
yeah.
underwater.
That's one of the reasons.
What happens in the submarine stays in the submarine.
Right, right, yeah. So yeah, I didn't want to do that. And people, yeah, a lot of jokes about the Navy. And now I don't know about the new branch of the military, the Space
Space
Force.
Force.
So I don't know. That's gonna be tighter and out of this world.
Yeah, that one's gotta be interesting. I love the part where they're trying to select camouflage uniforms for the moon or something.
Right.
But yeah, so the Air Force wasn't an option. You went to the military. How did that look like? You signed up. Did you have to do like fitness tests? Did you have to? Obviously, I'm pretty sure you had to do like a psychological evaluation.
Yeah, you have to go through a physical. They do a complete physical on you. Yeah, they do psychological test and physical. Oh, you have to pass your PT test, physical training test,
Hmm,
which is composed of sit-ups, push-ups, and then you have to run 2 miles in the least amount of time possible.
right. If I have a question, let's say you finished the test, but you were crying the whole time. Do they keep you?
They actually do. Yeah, we had a couple of guys. They were crying a lot, and even while they were in training, like the real training, yeah, and they still
Have you
made it.
ever seen the movie Full Metal Jacket?
No, but I heard about it.
Do you know when they have the drill sergeant? He's always yelling at you. His job is to make you cry, basically, to toughen you up. Is that like a true thing, or is this like a movie myth?
No, it is. It is. Especially, I heard it's worse for the for Marines, but
Yeah,
in the Army, they're hardcore. I mean, they were back then. So I rephrase that because
they
right
were
now I heard
hardcore.
crazy things.
I think David Goggins would dispute that. But yeah, so you finish your training. Actually, before that, I want to ask, how did your mother take the news?
See, unfortunately, I lost my mom when I was
Oh,
14 before coming to the US. That was
my
one of the reasons
condolences.
why I migrated to the US.
Mhm.
So it was only my dad. He really didn't want me to join, but he's like, if you want to, go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah. Because, like, the thing is, when you join the military, even in just like training sessions, there's always the risk of like an accident, an injury. Worst case, some people might like be in such a bad accident they die. So I guess like whenever you want to sign up, your family really doesn't want to see you go. I know my dad's a veteran, and his brothers are veterans. And when they had to sign up the war, they kept telling me like my grandma just like she lost it. She didn't want her babies to go fight in a war. But my grandpa also didn't like it. But I feel like there's this sense of being a man. I don't know if we still have it, but it seems to be in the past where like you don't want it, but you get it. Like you understand the decision.
That's true, and I think we'll still have it because
Mhm.
that's the way I feel with my kids because I have two sons. One is 18 and the other one is 12. If one of them, because the little one, he likes the military, but he says he's not going to join. But even if he decides to join, I will 100% support him.
Yeah. Yeah, let's hope there's no good reason to join, and if he does join, let's hope God keeps him safe.